Hey everybody, this is Mark Richards, the owner of Wasatch Recovery and a proud sponsor of Todd Sylvester's BeliefCast. We are excited to have you join us as we discuss Wasatch Recovery's unique treatment programs for overcoming addictions and techniques for developing a healthier lifestyle. We call this the Wasatch Way. Wasatch Recovery's goal is to instill hope, teach resilience, and help you achieve recovery. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Today we are featuring the Wasatch Way. It's our third episode. I'm your host, Todd Sylvester, and I'm joined with the owner of Wasatch Recovery, Mark Richards.
How's everybody?
Yeah, thanks for being here. And then we also have our marketing director, Ryan Decker. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Those who know Decker, man, this guy's full of energy. We love him, and I'm grateful that he's on the show today. And I'm grateful to do another Wasatch Way. The first two have gone over really well. A lot of great feedback. And our purpose is this is not only to talk about the Wasatch Way, but to market out to people who might have a family member who's struggling, or if you're not quite sure what treatment even is, we're here to kind of hopefully answer some of those questions. And today we're going to kind of address kind of what Ryan does for our organization here. And also Mark's going to kind of share some thoughts as well. So Mark, what do you think so far about the Wasatch Way and how things have been going?
Well, I think it's been really successful at this point. I think that we've gotten some good feedback, and, you know, we just think that up here at Wasatch Recovery, we do it a little bit different than everybody else. I think that we care to the point that people know it, and we really want to get to the root of the problem. And along with that, we're just here to help everybody get to somewhere, if it's here or anywhere else, and that's where I think Ryan comes in and is such a benefit to us.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Ryan, why don't you give our listeners a little background? You've been on the show, but it was how many years ago? 3 years ago? Long time. He shared his story. He's got a phenomenal story in the sense of, I mean, like any addiction, it takes you to hell and back 1,000 times, and you made it through that, and here you are working for Wasatch Recovery now, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So tell us a little background on your story and just share with our listeners how you got here.
Yeah, so I actually struggled with addiction for a couple decades. After some grand mal seizures and things like that, I realized that I physically couldn't do it on my own. Went to detox, and actually Mark came to visit me there. And then cool. Here I am, and now I'm kind of doing what he's doing, and it's I think it's very critical that somebody knows what it's like, right? When I'm the guy that gets to go there and in their darkest time and give them hope. And, you know, a lot of those times, you know, they look at me the way I am now, and they're like, you have no idea what I'm going through. I'm like, let me tell you a little story.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so I really love seeing them at that point, and I love seeing them at the point after Wasatch.
Right. Not
even close to the same person. Definitely not an easy job. You know, it's hard because, you know, it's there's successes. With successes, there's failures, and you know that's one of my downfalls is I tend to care more than they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. But I love to. I just want people to have what I have. I want people to find what I found.
Yeah. Well, you're very passionate about what you do. You know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, right? You know, it was like today, we brought in 2 people today here to Wasatch, 2 brand new people. And just to watch you talking about them, you're like, man, these guys are going to be great. You know, I'm excited for them to meet you, Todd, and to go through Wasatch. I mean, you were just like a little kid. And I love seeing that about you. And I think that's why, again, you're so good at this, because you do get excited to see someone have a little bit of hope now that they can change their life.
Yeah, it's such a journey. You know, it's not an easy journey, but totally worth it, right? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing easy about working through some of the difficult things that happen in our past. But I mean, the end goal is happiness, right?
Yeah.
If you're 100% happy, you never need to dive into a bottle or use or anything. And so, you know, we got the dream team here of people to help you kind of process through that hard past and those hard things. And we got guys like you that are going to help them learn to be happy and have hope and, you know, get their dreams back, which is crucial. And then you've got guys like Mark and I that are lucky enough to be almost like a neutral party to kind of help them navigate through all of this. And, there's nothing more gratifying than, seeing kids run up to their parents after they've gotten out.
Yeah, wow.
And it's a completely different person.
For sure. Different perspective there. And you and Mark are really good at caring about the people that come in here. I mean, Mark being the owner, we talked about this before. You're here every day. I mean, every client that comes through here knows who Mark is. I mean, I hear it all the time. People in my office, I can't believe the owner's here every day. That's the owner? Like, yep, that's the owner. That's Mark. And by the time they leave here, they know who Mark is. They have a relationship with him, and they're just like, man, I can't believe how much this guy cares. And I think you two, in that way, are so good at showing these people that you really do care about them.
Well, it gives us great opportunities. We Ryan and I had an opportunity yesterday to play in the Pro-Am of the Utah Open, and there were so many people in recovery there, and to be able to see them and see where they are and see their excitement and to see that happiness is so gratifying. And that's what we talked about. We're around such great people that at one moment in their life, they didn't think they were great, or they were just in the low of the lows. And to be able to see the other side of that it's just an amazing feeling, and we just love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's like my personal story when I came through, Mark and the staff said, let us love you until you can love yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you with, happiness can be a choice. And that's what I love is that with Mark, we go there and see these people that I've kind of helped along the way. And it doesn't seem possible. And it's a unique thing that I get to do as far as a job to kind of show them that that there's a different way. You can have what I have. It might not seem possible. And when I was going through, I had no idea things like this existed, and there's such this misconception of what treatment is. Yeah. Right. And we do it a little bit different, right? Yeah. We do it the right way. And it's definitely all love, especially when these people are leaving their families to come here to invest some time in themselves.
Well, there's a reason why we call it the greatest university on the planet, because it's a university. It's not rehab. It is rehab because that's what we're doing on one sense, but at the same time, every person in the world needs this information. They need to use it in their life. Again, it's about finding joy and happiness in your life. Yes, drugs and alcohol has been a part of your life, but how can you do life without those two things, right? It's really remarkable to watch that happen.
Well, and that's the amazing thing. What we were playing in is a sober golf league, and we were playing in the Utah Pro-Am, and it's amazing, right? There is things to do when you get out. You can be happy without it. Right. I didn't. People that are alcoholics think of golf and drinking. Right? Yeah. And now we're playing with people, business professionals and other people in recovery, and we're all equal. It's just a big recovery family, and it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, Ryan, what you do in a day. Like, what does your day look like here at Wasatch, and how do you find people? I mean, I know you go to a lot of the detoxes, and you're talking to someone who's laying on a table who's going through hell. And you're, like you said, so talk us through that, and so people understand exactly what you do.
Well, so I build relationships with other hospitals, other treatment centers. Really, I'm just out there letting people know who we are, what we do, and kind of services that we provide, and how we can help people. And it ranges from everything from, taking people out to eat and taking them in and touring and showing them the way we do things to, getting calls from hospitals and going in there and meeting with the patient directly. A lot of it is the families. Okay. A lot of the families where the person doesn't necessarily even think they have a problem, right? But the family can totally see what's going on. And so a lot of it is kind of coaching interventions, right? That beginning stage stuff as far as like, okay, here's how this works, step by step, and I'll kind of hold their hand through that until they get to this point. And, I'm not going to lie, I didn't come here for myself. I came here to save a marriage and to keep my kids in my life. Yeah. But while I was here, light bulbs continually went off that, holy cow, I'm no better than any of these guys, and I did have a problem. And so it's a very wide range of job titles. I mean, it's a very unique job where, this isn't something that, any average Joe can do. I was kind of joke. Everybody's like, so how'd you get into that? I was like, well, I did a lot of research, and I got a PhD in drugs and alcohol. I tend to try it all. So I totally get it, and I can relate with everybody. And I think that building trust in people where they legitimately can feel what I'm saying is the truth, and this isn't some sales pitch. I mean, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I tend to get fully invested in people. I love to help people. I mean,
I think that's so important to realize, and especially going through what we go through here at Wasatch, and why Ryan's so vital to this operation is that step to make a call. People are naive.
Yeah.
I know there's people listening to this that don't have the courage to just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And with Ryan or myself or you, Todd, what people need to understand is there's no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
And that fear that we create in our mind is really just fear in our mind.
Yeah.
And if you pick up the phone and you talk to Ryan, he gets it. He understands it. He's not judging you. He's not going to condemn you. And that's what you need to realize is,
sure.
Each and every one of us, if you're in recovery or not, we're in rehab our whole life. We're rehabilitating ourselves constantly, right?
Yeah,
we're
for
constantly making mistakes. And that's what people need to understand is, hey, this is just a different mistake, or it's just a different area of their life that they're working on. And so it's not really what the world would call rehab.
Yeah.
It's just working on yourself and getting yourself back to that point where you can be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just about stopping the drugs and the alcohol. It's becoming a better person. People leave here better.
Yep.
They're better human beings when they leave this place.
Absolutely.
You could see it in their eyes when
Yeah.
they leave here. That you find something you thought was forgotten. You found something that you never thought was even possible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and that belief system is so hard at that point when you're low, and we've all been there, I think. At certain levels where you start, doubting yourself, and am I a bad person? Am I this? Am I that? And to try and pull yourself out of that alone is so difficult.
Right.
And this is just a great place to get support. And there's a lot of people here with a lot of knowledge who can help them find that new narrative. And that's what I just love.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So Ryan, you're out there, you have relationships with other treatment centers, and I know you have, everyone looks up to you and in so many ways. What do you see that kind of sets us apart a little bit? Not that we're not trying to, we're not banging on any other program, but what kind of sets us apart, do you think, based on your perception? Because you're the one out there seeing how other things are going.
Well, and I can say from, standpoint of like I've worked at other places, right? When I was coming through this program, I'm thinking, how unique is it? These guys get to work and help people. It's the most unique job ever,
Right.
And so when I made the decision to change careers, while I was in treatment, Mark required a certain amount of time, a year clean, and, for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And so, I actually worked at a few other places in the meantime before I found my way back home, but we are different, and not by a little, by a lot. And I think a lot of it comes to, nobody's immune to addiction or alcoholism. Nobody wakes up one day and says, I think I want to go through this. This sounds fun.
Right.
Right. Everything from doctors, lawyers, to a 20-year-old kid that's just getting his life started. There's such a different demographic of people here. And so I think that's unique in the sense that we have guys like you, right? Like a lot of the other places don't have a guy that's going to teach them that, happiness can be a choice. Either it's just straight 12-step based program or, things like that. But here you've got seriously the dream team between therapists. Let's work through some of your past PTSD or some mental health issues. But then we've got, there's a process to it. But then how do you know you don't never like yoga if you've never done it? Well, let's go to yoga. Or, how do you know you don't like to do all these certain activities that we do? And you get set in a routine. And I think really when you walk into Wasatch from people that go tour multiple places, they feel it. And it's kind of hard to explain kind of what sets us apart. But for me personally, it's just love, right?
Yeah.
It's love and people in their hardest points in their lives, and then they see us and the light in our eyes, and they have hope again. I mean, it's amazing.
How many times do we hear that where hey, it feels different here? Like you just said, it's hard to explain, right? But people say this just feels different.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think we've talked about that before on the Wasatch Way, is we are different in the sense that we will love you until you love yourself.
Yeah.
And that is so important.
That is big.
That caring piece is such a different piece than most, because this is not about, somebody's money. This is not about a business. This is about you getting better. And again, I'm going back talking about some of the things we've talked about. I believe that we're the only facility probably in America that's begging people to stay longer.
Yeah.
If they have money or not, we're begging people to stay until they get to that point where they can take the next step. We don't want to see them back unless,
Unless they're going to come share their story.
Yeah, we want them to come share their story and be happy.
Yeah.
Now, we know that that's not going to happen 100% of the time, so we welcome people back to continue to work on themselves, because that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And we actually admire that. But I'll tell you, it's just different from the sense of, we're going to care probably almost a little more about them than they care about themselves at that point.
And
for sure.
And the program, and this is just that one piece, right? I mean, we're talking about you come up here, and this is kind of the residential. But then when you're done, we have the outpatient program between day treatment, where if you need more, you can do that, and that's intensive, right? And then we've got outpatient if you got to get back to work, plus the townhouses, plus sober softball on Friday nights. I mean, when you get out of here and you're so used to living your life one way, and you walk right back into that environment, the same people, same everything, it's hard, right? And so that's where, Wasatch has done such a good job of creating such a community, right? Where legitimately, when I got out of here, I was taking my kids to softball on Friday nights. I was going to alumni night on Sundays. I mean, because what would I be doing on Friday night if I wasn't, right?
Right.
And so filling my time top to bottom, and the way we have something going on every single night while you're getting your feet back, right? Because just because you're in treatment doesn't mean there's some magical potion that, that somebody throws on you, you're good, right? It's something you continually work on, and you got to, be cautious, right? Because, I mean, it's something that doesn't just happen overnight. It takes work, and we've got the program to help you work through that and kind of taper, if you will, back into your life and help you deal with all that burned bridges that you left behind before you got into treatment.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
very well said.
I love listening to Ryan when he's working with a client and
me too.
telling them, this is on you. This is on you to come in here and to work hard. We will give you the best information, and that's where the best university on the planet comes in.
Yeah.
We'll give you the best opportunity possible. But he's telling them right up front and setting that expectation. Yeah. And again, I go back and say, if you don't have an expectation, what is there? You have to set an expectation for the client in order for them to have the goal to get to the point where they can succeed.
Right.
And I think there's so many places that never set that expectation. When somebody comes into Wasatch Recovery, we expect you to walk out the door healthy.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you're not leaving yet.
Yep. And I think that's another thing that sets us apart. If funds dry up and this and that or whatever it may be, situations are all different. But that's one of the reasons why I love working here. We've never booted someone out of here if they weren't ready to go, no matter if they have the funds or not. And that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever, and you don't see that, man.
You don't see that.
I was one of those cases.
Yeah.
I mean, and now look at me. I mean, it's
pretty
good investment, but now that I work here, but seriously, but the amount of there's nobody does that where legitimately we care more than they do a lot of the times, and we can see potential in them when they can't see it, and we'll try to just give them those light bulbs, just lighten them up, and then all of a sudden you can see a shift.
Yeah.
And those light bulbs go off, and then it gets real fun to watch. Like, I love coming in every day, and each day somebody that I brought in the darkest time, and just watch it slowly come on.
Yeah, right.
Right. And then their eyes start getting real big and like,
Yeah.
Decker, guess what I learned today? Or, this and this, you were right, and
Yeah, right.
but yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. What do you see? A question I have too, I think a lot of people wonder, what is the biggest kind of like roadblock for people to come in or to even call you, or like, what do you see when you're talking to someone in detox and they're being really hesitant or whatever? What's one of the biggest things you see that keep people from making the commitment to change?
Well, and a lot of times people just don't believe they can do it, or that they just think that this is the best their life's going to be at that point. And so trying to tell them that there's a better way, right? And that's what I love to do. But a lot of times insurance stuff, they just think, oh, I just can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in reality, there's insurances out there that will help you with that. And if people aren't a good fit for us, or they don't want to go, I spend the majority of my time on the phones, not even helping people get into Wasatch, whether we're full or we can't take their insurance or whatever. And I'll give them resources of places I know that do a good job,
Right.
or direct them in the way they need to go, because I mean, there's a lot of people that need help.
Yeah.
I mean, I need like 20 of me to try to even make a dent in Utah to try to help all the people that need help. And, it's a 1 a.m. phone call, a 4 a.m. phone call, so I try to help as many people as I can, but it is so possible. And I think a lot of people just don't think that it is.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Mark? Like from your perspective of people just think, man, my problems are too big. I can't change this, or.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
there's that constant doubt at
Yeah.
that point in their lives, and we know where they're at, and that's where Ryan is so effective. Is he's been there, he
Yeah.
knows where they are, he knows where they've been through, he knows where they can go, and I think as an owner, that's what I love about having him is.
Yeah.
The passion to be able to walk in and convince somebody that they can do something that they don't feel they can do is a great thing. And he's as good as anybody is at doing that. And again, it's that whole belief system that
Yeah.
you talk about.
Yeah.
That's why it's called, the belief cast, is
Yeah.
their belief system is so off at that point. And to just see that little glimmer of hope
Yeah.
allows them to make that choice. And then once they get here, then we can really do the work with them, and we'll love them to death. And then that hope continues to grow. And just like Ryan said, it's an amazing thing to watch when that light comes on in their eyes,
Yeah.
and they go, wow, I think I might be able to do this.
Yeah.
And then when they leave, they go, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
That's an awesome feeling.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely. Any other things, Decker, that you would want to share with our listeners that may help them? Maybe they're on the fence. Do I come in? I have a family member who's struggling. How do I approach them? Maybe give us a little insight on how to handle those things.
I would just say, just call me. Just call Wasatch.
And by the way, I'm going to cut you off. I've heard you on the phone, and that's what Mark was just talking about. I mean, listen to you talk to someone on the phone. It really is. It's impressive because you're passionate, and I can't imagine calling some other place and some person's just like, okay, yeah, what's your name? You're like, hey, you're like, you just hit the jackpot, man. Here we go, and to hear that, dude, I just go, man, that is so cool to listen. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say just call. Because if I don't pick up the phone because I'm on another call, Mark picks up the phone.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't pick up the phone, Alicia picks up the phone. So just call Wasatch, because what we can do is, whether they're at the beginning stages and they're not quite yet there or ready to come in, we can at least get the process started or tell them how the process works. Because for most people, they don't have to know about this stuff, which is a good thing. Right. But to kind of be a guide to help them kind of know the way it works, what the steps are, I think that's huge. So it never hurts to call. It's like you're saying. You just call, and I'll help you any way I can. I don't judge anybody.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I was like it. I was the other person on the other line, right? And
Yeah.
so just I would say just call, and I will direct you any way I can.
Yeah.
Well, and I just want
Love
to
it.
add to that. I know we're talking to not only the addicts themselves when we're talking on this podcast, but we're talking to a lot of family members
sure.
or friends or people who know somebody who needs help. You can call. You can ask all the necessary questions. We can help guide you and, give you some confidence in how to approach that person if you're not the addict. If you are the addict, call. Again, like Ryan says, there's no judgment.
Yeah.
But I think one of the greatest things that we do here is if you can just come and see it and feel it.
Yeah.
Just come take a tour
Yeah.
and feel it and allow us to sit with you for a minute.
Yeah.
And you will feel a difference.
Yeah.
And we will make sure that you are taken care of even in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm probably the worst at what I do, in the sense when they call and they're like, I'm thinking about these. I'm like, I always tell people, whether you come to us or you don't come to us, go look and talk and get a feeling for the places that you're talking to.
Right.
And they all come back and say something's different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you come actually look and talk to us, and we can kind of help you understand how we do things, it's a pretty easy decision if you're ready.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. Like, hey, how can anyone call you up and come take a tour of the place? Is that just standard?
Yep.
Anyone can
Anytime.
come check it out?
Anytime.
Yep. Just call me and
Anytime.
set it up.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I might be as bold to say they could call you guys up and go pick your brain at lunch. And I mean, that's who you guys are.
Yeah.
You guys are just so open. I mean, that's the other thing I think that people don't understand. You're the owner. You're the marketing director. You guys are so busy. You don't have time for me, but you do though. That's the beauty of it. Like I've known Mark. He goes to lunch with so many people. Like he's like, I got lunch with so and so. Why? Well, he called me up. He's kind of struggling. I mean, you're constantly doing that stuff. So I think again, that's another reason why this feels different. Because I mean, you've got the owner so invested in. Guy took me to lunch. Gave me this tour. Yeah, I'm in. Or I want my family member to come here. You know what I mean?
That's the joy of our industry, Toddy. To be able to make a difference in somebody's life is just amazing. It's worth all the money in the world to me. And I would give up every penny if we could just survive and do this every day.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's that gratifying to me. And I know it is to my entire staff. And that's what I just love about Wasatch is the whole staff, the entire staff is vested in each individual, not as a whole, everybody, but each individual. They're invested in them. And that's so important to me when I look at the way we do things. Each individual is so important as their own person and as their own treatment plan and their own happiness. And that's what makes me so proud every day to do this thing.
No, yeah. And again, that's part of that feeling, people can feel that.
Yeah.
You can't fake that, right? Well, it's been great to interview both of you guys on the show today, the Wasatch Way. Thank you for joining me and for just what you guys do. Again, I love working here because I get to rub shoulders with you guys. Honestly, it's so awesome. We have amazing therapists. We have an amazing experiential director and their program, all the way down to the line staff. I get to do what I get to do here. I help, like where we're going to get you to where you want to be tomorrow. I'm not really dealing with the past. I'm like, let's move forward. How we're going to do that. It's different, man. And it's cool.
Yeah, it's way cool. I appreciate you, Toddy, for doing this and allowing us this opportunity. And
absolutely.
I mean, Ryan, you can never say enough about Ryan. He's that good of a person, and
for sure,
I love him.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
Love you, Ryan, man. You're awesome. Well, so if someone wants to call you, Ryan, who or Mark, I know, let's use Mark. I know we've said this in the last Wasatch Way. They could call you directly too. Like you give out your number all the time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
we can always give out my number, just like I always say. It's you can call my mobile anytime you want.
Or you can call the main line and one of us will pick it up.
Yeah,
what's
comes
that?
to all of
So
us.
it's 801-901-0024.
Okay.
Calls
So
directly.
and that goes to either you, Mark, Alicia.
Somebody will
Someone's
pick it
going to
up.
pick up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
will pick that up, and if for some weird reason it doesn't get picked up, we'll get right back to you. I guarantee it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I can attest every time I see Ryan, he's on the phone. I mean, he's constantly getting called. I mean, so he will. He doesn't avoid the call. He takes the call. That's probably a blessing and a curse for Ryan.
Yeah. You might catch me at my kid's baseball game or something, but usually there's gonna be some loud laughter or something in the background. But yeah, I'll always take a call.
But Mark's the same way. You guys are always taking calls, and that just shows what you guys, how much you care about this, and that people, find that joy and happiness again in their life. So.
Awesome.
Well, there you go, folks. Thanks for tuning into the Wasatch Way. This is episode number 3 of the Wasatch Way. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to do this every other week moving forward. So please share this with family members who are struggling. If you have a cousin who's been using, if you have a friend who's using, say, hey, just take 20 minutes and listen to this. I promise you, if they just listen to this, they'll feel something, right? So please reach out to them, and please give Ryan a call, give Mark a call, and we will take care of you. If you want to come take a tour of our beautiful place here, we'd love to have you. No obligation. Just come check it out. And I promise you, we'll give you the most love you'll ever experience in a treatment center that I think you'll ever experience anywhere else. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, Toddy.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Love you guys.